What are you doing?
Marking timber.
Yep. All right, so we're here marking another. This is a little piece. It's only what, like 20 acres. There's not a whole lot in it. It's surrounded by great timber, but of course, this has been cut pretty good. A fella asked me, when I'm scaling the tree, am I just scaling the grade logs? Or am I scaling everything in the tree? He was asking basically how much of the tree am I scaling for 16-foot logs. For the most part, I'm scaling the usable merchantable height as in saw logs. So if it gets into small scrag and things like that, that's not scaled because it's not, you drop the tree, the branches break or something. That's like if you get it, you're lucky. If you don't, you don't kind of thing. But certain trees, I will push the envelope a little further. So like on these beech trees, for beech, it's one price straight through. The guy that prices it, I don't know the prices of anything, so don't ask me. But he's going to offer a certain amount for the whole beech tree, because beech isn't a real like a grading tree. It mostly goes for blocking. Sometimes you can do some things with it, but not very much. So I'll scale as much of that tree as I think I can get logs out of. Whereas I'll go down to, like, say, one of these bigger oaks down here. There's one down there. Come over this way and I'll point. You see that big oak down there? That one there. Raise it up a little bit. See, we're probably going to scale to about right in there, because beyond, there's that huge limb there, and there's a big fork right here. And I guarantee you that's going to break, because that tree's going to fall straight away into that, across that ravine, and it's going to shatter. So I'm going to scale to there, because beyond that, you can't pay for stuff that you won't get back. You know what I mean? We have a pretty good system. Every person that marks timber and grades timber does a little differently, and their system works for them. So I mean, you have to, I'm not saying what I do is right by any means. I'm just saying it's what I do and works for the guy that I do most of my contract work for. I know other people that are very scrupulous on how much of the tree they grade, but then they add money on top of the job for sorry, something was running over there, caught my attention. They add money on top of the job for like the blocking end of it. And there's other people that'll scale. They'll say there's one 16-foot log of grade, and then they'll say there's 1/2 log of blocking, and then they put 2 different columns for it, and it gets a little bit crazy when you're breaking it down that hard. Now we'll do that if it's a job that we know is like, hey, this is a high dollar job. There's a lot of really nice wood, and we want it to be, we want to get every penny on it that we can, so we have a better chance of getting it. We'll do stuff like that, but that's special circumstances for me. I don't normally do that kind of style. So she's gonna hold the camera. I'm gonna go down here and mark these 2. Like this next one here is a beech. And what I'll do a lot with beech is you'll see me sound it. And by sounding the tree, I'll put my hand on it. And since this has a real hard, smooth bark, you can do it with this stick. You tap the tree, you can tell if it's hollow. Like you can hit it, it just sounds solid. Whereas if you go to a hollow tree and you tap it, it'll be like,
Sounds like a drum.
Like a wooden barrel, like a wine barrel. You'll hear that hollow thud. So beech typically gets hollow around here once it gets so big. And this one, just looking at it, I can cut 1/16, 2 16s, and 1/2. So this will get 2.5 tall. So I'll go on here and scale my stick. I've got 18. Once again, 25 inches from the eye. This is Form Class 78 Doyle scale. So I've got 18 at breast height, 2.5 tall. So it's between 164 and 215. So you have a difference of about 50 feet. So I'm gonna put 285 on this, just a little bit on the low end for beech. And we got the slash.
Drop my pen.
Nah, we'll get it in a minute. 285 for beech. I'm putting a dot because it's something that's kind of required as of recently. We ran into an issue with this. Just putting a dot so after the tree's been severed, everybody knows that that tree was supposed to be severed. Here, I'm gonna hold the book while she writes.
Here, just hold the camera.
See, she's gonna write it down in there. Beech 285, okay. And that tree's nasty, hollow, and crummy. And I'm gonna just destroy way too much residual stand getting that down. It's not worth cutting. Sometimes you have to leave the crummy ones that need to go just because you're gonna do too much damage. So, but that's that. Now over here, this was that oak we talked about. And I believe this is a chestnut oak. I gotta get closer to see. Yes, it is. That's a big chestnut oak too. This is gonna be a crummy little ravine to cross. Well, you're not kidding. There's raccoon poo everywhere. So we're gonna scale it up to these first two big Ys, which is definitely two 16-foot logs. And a lot of people are saying, how do you look at this tree and tell the height like that? Man, I gotta watch where I step. You can walk back with the Marisip hips on it at 66 feet and measure every tree if you'd like. Over time, if you're doing this, you're gonna get good at it. And especially if you're the one, you do cutting. If you do bucking up on the landing, you can look at a log and just kind of tell, I can get 2/16 out of that, or I can get 3/8, or both, you know what I mean? So you just get a feel for it. I hate to say close enough, but I'm doing good enough that I'm all right with it. So I'm definitely going to get 2 out of this. Beyond that, if I get something, it's graded. If I don't, I don't. I don't think I will. This is a fairly nice chestnut oak. I mean, it don't sound hollow or nothing. I don't sound every tree. But we're looking at 34, and it's important that you scale this inside the bark. The mill don't pay for bark. 34 inside the bark. Now, better go 33 inside the bark. I'm going to get 2 out of it. There's 835 board feet in that chestnut. I'll put a slash on 2 sides so it's easily seen. And the dot at the bottom, if you're doing that, you don't have to do that. But if you do that, mind to put it somewhere that won't get destroyed. It'll help leave it. It doesn't matter. But like, hey, I'll put it inside of a root flare, somewhere that the stump won't. The tree hops off of the machine. You know what I mean?
Did you say that was 834?
Yeah, 835, I think. 835. 1 foot's not going to matter on that tree. That's a nice tree. That'll make, you're going to knock an 8 out of it or a 10 out of the bottom. And you're going to knock probably 2 12s. Or 12 and a 10. That gets you close to 2 16-footers. You break, once it gets on the landing, you have a better, you can see if it breaks or something like that. This one ball is rolling around in this can of paint back here. It's freaking me out. I keep hearing weird sound. Here's a soft maple. Let's do that one. Not a very big tree. We got some sucker limbs here. I think I can get 2 16s out of this. Maybe a pulp stick out of the top. It's only 14 that way. This is a little bit oval shaped, so let's do it 2 different ways. 14 one way, 16 the other way. So I'll scale that tree as 15 at chest high. 2 high, that's 96 board feet for soft maple. I like to spray these high, especially when you're in vegetation. I was just helping a friend on a job that was a marked timber sale. It was marked by a forester. He used upside down paint, which I believe was water-based, which fades horribly bad. It does not weather the elements very good, and it was just, and he did really little. His marks were low and they were real short. I'm guessing it was a short guy. It's upside down paint, so you can't reach real high to get it to go. I would refrain from using upside down paint. That's my opinion. As a cutter, that's my opinion. It's just hard to see. It is hard to, it doesn't last long in the weather. It's just, and get your marks as high as you can. Once again, this is the paint I use. The Airvo. It's got that little dinger on there. I showed you that before. It makes a real fine, you can spray pretty far from a tree and mark stuff. So I like it. It works really good. This is fluorescent red, but it looks more like a
orangey pink.
Orangey pinky, yeah. I don't know. It's debatable. Losing my voice.
It's easy to see amongst all the green though.
Yes, it is. Which colors do I prefer best? A lot of people ask. I like fluorescent blue and this fluorescent here. I try to stay away from greens, yellows. Oranges are okay. They're a little difficult in the fall sometimes. But orange, I would say orange is up in the air, but yellows, green, fluorescent greens, no, like right now fluorescent green would suck. Purple, you gotta watch using the fluorescent purple because now that purple is like the universal posted
Private.
sign boundary marker thing, so you gotta watch using that. I'm trying to think of what other colors out there. Fluorescent pink's good, things like that. Anything that has no resemblance of stuff in the woods. I mean, if you're cutting something in the middle of winter and you know you are and green will help you, I mean, it sticks out like a sore thumb in the winter, but as soon as it gets green...
Make sure you're doing it in the winter.
Yeah, yeah. We marked that one property line on the job I'm on now with green tape because it was easiest to see and it was all I had at the moment. And I had to go back when it was like this and mark it over because I couldn't see it. I couldn't, it was terrible. So, but that's just some little things. Fella asked. Hopefully that answers some questions and hope you all enjoy, and thanks for watching. We really enjoy having you on the channel. And once again, this is how I do it. I'm not saying this is right. So, you know, if you have a different way or something better for you, rock on, man. Don't, you know, I'm just trying to offer everybody some tips of what I do and what works for me and what, you know, the group I work with, and that's all. So I'm always willing to learn new things. I'd love to get with an actual, you know, let's say forester that went to college and everything. I never went to college for forestry. I just cut timber, but I'd like to get with one when he marks and just, you know, compare notes. But a lot of them around here, that's like proprietary to them, and they're, you know, they don't like to share too much info. So I mean, I understand that, but hopefully someday I'll run into somebody that can take me along with them. And you know, it's nice to go because you never know what you're going to learn. Just being around some people, you learn stuff. Sometimes it's good stuff, sometimes it's bad stuff. So, all right, everybody, take care. You have a good one.